On this very special episode comes the last fan missing from my childhood. This is a 1985 Lasko 9-inch oscillator. And while you say these might be common, they're common under the Galaxy name. The Lasko version apparently is much more harder to come by. So just do a quick tour of the fan. The base, it doesn't look that bad in person as the flash on the camera. This is, there you go. See, that's kind of what it looks like. The label here is a little bit, worn, but that's really the only problem with it. But you gotta remember, this fan is 31 years old, and I don't know the history on it either. Other than I got it clean. It was clean like someone cleaned it, but they didn't oil it or grease it. It also has the same plug mine did. You see how it says LMP? And here's the bottom. Rubber feet still in excellent shape. I'm assuming that's the model number E20739. Still a very heavily weighted fan. They don't make them like this now. They're just a heap of plastic. And before I turn it on, let me go a quick story about this. 1985, hardware store near us. My grandfather's friends with the owner. I got this fan for free. However, it was free because mine was defective. It's either bad thrust washers, but it didn't bounce back and forth. The shaft didn't have any play in it, but it just made a whole racket. So it was just giving me pretty much to play with. But I ended up having it from 1985 when I was 3 years old until 1990. I remember in 1990 I wanted to pull it out because it was, spring, summer, starting to get hot. And the fan was missing. My mom said it fell over and broke. I know what she did. She just threw it out because she didn't want it around anymore. That's when I ended up with my 1990 Galaxy box fan with the gray blade set, which is in this closet right now. That said, I had it for 5 years of my life, and I used it a lot. Despite it having that defect, it just ran. It never broke. 5 years. I'm just saying, these new ones are so cheap and they can't even last a season. And I have one that's defective and it just keeps running. Alright, no rants here. Anyhow, this, like I said, part of my childhood. We got the Galaxy version of this, but it has a champagne grill instead. I'm just so happy to finally get the exact version I had. That's what's most important. I don't like likenesses. I want the exact models. I also like the shadow behind it, but the camera's not really picking up. But anyhow, we'll do low, then high. It's actually very quiet, but like any old vintage fan, it moves a lot of air. Then we'll go to high. Now, this, like I said, I just freshly oiled and freshly greased it. The grease was still good in the gearbox. The motor was still pretty much free spinning, but it did kind of need an oil job because it had a little bit of that typical C-frame yin 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 sound. But as you can see, it's dead quiet now. I'm gonna leave it run over the weekend and get it, everything flowing again on it. So I'm gonna turn it off and watch spin down time. Like I said, I just maintenanced it literally a half hour ago. And I did completely disassembled, completely cleaned it, polished it. Okay, now we'll go right into high. There's no real startup sound to it, so I'm not going to get any close-up of it. Oscillate. And like I said, I gotta leave it run for a bit. That's what happened with our Sears in the bedroom. It took it about a few days, and then it, quieted right down, and it's been running perfectly since. But yeah, it works beautifully. Here's low on oscillate. Okay, and back to high. So, before I conclude this video, this completes all the missing fans from my childhood. Before, and I count that like early 90s and before, because everything after that's when things started going China Pride. But, I got this guy here from 86, the one in the closet. But all that's left is my heater, Lakewood heater from 1989, purchased September 1989 at Service Merchandise. It's a plastic heater, and I can't seem to find the exact model. Mine didn't have any pilot lights. Same color scheme as this box fan. It had a really awesome startup sound on the fan. So that's my last remaining item. How I even got the vacuum cleaner back a few years ago, if you remember that video. But yeah, so here you go.